Hey everyone, welcome to the video. So I'm going to be talking today about the NBA play-in tournament that is happening this week. I'm going to make my predictions about it. And then next week I'm going to make my predictions about the playoffs once we have the series fully set for the playoff picture in the Western and Eastern Conference. So let me know if you like videos like these, and please continue to check out my content if you're like a wide variety of stuff, because I cover a wide variety of topics on my channel. So let's get into this playoff picture. So the play-in tournament, if in case you are not familiar with the format, it's been talked about quite a bit if you're an NBA fan, but if you're not, basically the way it's going to work is that the 7 and 8 seed will play each other for the rights to get that 7th seed officially within the full 7-game series playoffs. And then the 9 and 10 seed will play each other. The winner will advance and the loser will be eliminated. Then 2 days later, the loser of the 7 and 8 game and the winner of the 9 and 10 game will play each other. And the winner of that will take the 8 seed in the playoff picture and match up against the number 1 seed in the playoffs. So how does this look like for each conference? In the Eastern Conference, you got the Boston Celtics at the 7th seed, the Washington Wizards at the 8th seed, the Indiana Pacers at the 9 seed, the Charlotte Hornets at the 10 seed. And then in the Western Conference, you got the Lakers at the 7th seed, the Golden State Warriors at the 8th seed, the Memphis Grizzlies at the 9th seed, and the San Antonio Spurs at the 10th seed. And there's a lot of interesting matchups here, so I'll get into them and give my predictions. So let's start with the Eastern Conference. The first game is going to be Indiana against Charlotte in that 9 to 10 matchup. So I'll go in order of how they're playing. And this game is interesting to me because the Pacers are a team that is got some playoff experience, not necessarily had a very good year. Maybe their new coach isn't necessarily a good fit with their team and their system they're trying to run, so they're talking about replacing him. Charlotte Hornets are a team that started off well this season, but they've had a whole slew of injuries. They're starting to get guys healthy now, but they fell in this playoff picture. They were around the 4 or 5 seed at one point earlier this season, but now they're the 10th seed playing the Indiana Pacers on the road. So how do I see this game going? And I think a lot of people are taking Charlotte because of they're generally a flashier team. They have LaMelo Ball, who looks to be a very promising rookie, and all the news that comes out about the Pacers and the stuff going on within their organization. But for me personally, I like the Pacers in this matchup. And the reason being is because just simply playoff experience, and they've been through these kind of games before where they've been in elimination games. Not always come out on the right side of them necessarily, but I still think that relative to a team like Charlotte that still has a lot of young players, maybe it's not proven how they'll respond in these type of games, and they've kind of gone on a little bit of a slide of late. I see the Indiana Pacers pulling away and winning this game. I think it will be close, and I can actually see this game going similar to the way it was in yesterday's game where the Hornets were up on the Wizards most of the game and then kind of let the lead collapse at the end. I could see something similar to that happening with the Pacers, a team that has got a lot of experienced players, and I think that takes precedence in this game. In the case of the 7-8 matchup, Boston against Washington. So this game I think will also be interesting because I think a lot of stuff that people aren't necessarily taking into consideration is that the 2 seed is the Brooklyn Nets, which is the team that pretty much nobody wants to play because they've got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. So theoretically, the winner of this game is in a worse situation than they are if they're playing the Philadelphia 76ers. So a lot of people are taking the Wizards, but it might be more advantageous to them to just tank this game and then play the Sixers potentially. I don't see that happening because ultimately you're playing for your playoff lives, and why do you want to put yourself in a position to be in a single elimination game? But at the same time, it is worth considering if you think that you have a chance to advance to the second round. Maybe you don't want to play the Nets in your first game. But I do see what I think will probably happen if these teams play is that the Wizards are going to win this game because Boston is playing terrible right now, and I think the Wizards are on a hot streak. I think they get the 7th seed. So now in the final game of this Eastern Conference, you got the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. And in this game, I think I am going to go with the Boston Celtics because Boston is I could see them very easily sliding out of this whole thing, but I think relative to a team like the Indiana Pacers, Boston has more of that star power. And they have, I mean, the two teams are basically even in terms of playoff experience. Boston arguably has more with their run to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. But I think that the star power of Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker when he wants to be, is greater than Sabonis, LeVert, whatever else the Pacers have to offer. In the Western Conference now, so the first game we've got is the Memphis Grizzlies and the San Antonio Spurs. I see Memphis easily winning that game. San Antonio is they're a good team, but they don't have guys like Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., and I think that the Spurs have been sliding. Grizzlies, however, are playing hot, and they're playing with they almost beat the Warriors yesterday, and a lot of people didn't really give them a chance. Grizzlies are a very underrated team. I think they come out in this game. Lakers, Golden State. This is going to be a highly publicized game. Everybody's going to be watching this one. And the Lakers are a team that favored, obviously, that had some injuries and slid a little bit. But I see the Lakers winning this, but I would not be surprised at all if Golden State won. And again, it's a situation where I think you could argue that maybe it's better if they play in the 8. Either of these teams play in the 8 seed against Utah, especially if Donovan Mitchell isn't healthy. But I really don't think that teams will do that. Well, they don't intentionally put themselves in a position to play in the single elimination 8-9 game or 8 seed winner gets the 8 seed game. So I see the Lakers winning this, but Steph Curry, if the way he's playing, I would not be surprised at all if Golden State finds a way to get that 7th seed. So based on my predictions now, you got Golden State and Memphis again. And I mean, Memphis played Golden State very close. But I think in this situation, I think you have to go with the Golden State Warriors to win this game. Based off the way Steph Curry is playing, their playoff experience in the past. I like Golden State to win that 8-9 game that we'll get it on Friday if it's against the Memphis Grizzlies. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes, though. I'm excited to see how this format works. It's one game, so there's a lot that could change. For all we know, maybe the Spurs can get into it. I highly doubt it, but that's what makes this thing interesting. Is it's essentially like a March Madness in the NBA. So anyway, but let me know what you think. I'm interested to see who you guys pick in these games, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.